everyone. We are into Chief Delegate meeting number 1, and I have the pleasure to be with Nathan James, Joshua Seymour, and Joey with us. Hi guys, how are you? Fine?
Great to be here.
Perfect. So we will be very concise, short, straight to the point. We will do a meeting of 1 hour long, and that will be structured very easy. We will do everyone Chief Delegate an update of what we are doing. Then we do a second phase where we do a roundtable, some reactions, and then we finish with some questions and time to conclude straight like a train. So I will give the mic first to Nathan to make an update of basically 10 minutes max, and maybe less, but at least you have 10 minutes. Okay, so Nathan, maybe let's go.
Hello. So I'm sure you've all noticed that there's a new channel, or there's a new topic in our channel, which is called Why. This has already gotten, I think it's around 22 responses on the first question. The first question being, what brought you to Eden? What was the story behind you coming to Eden? There's been a lot of interesting responses there. I think one of the biggest threads between them is actually Dan, which I don't think that we can create as the why of the organization. But it's interesting to see that a lot of people were brought here because of the concepts in the book, and not necessarily because of the pieces that we actually have inside of Eden. So there is an interesting already discovery going on there inside of that channel at the moment. There's been the last call for that first question of what brought you here. I think it was maybe a day and a half ago, something like that. And the next question is coming. Something I didn't want to say before is that everybody who participated is actually going to get a little bit of EOS in return for their participation. I wanted to make sure that people participating in this did it out of the want to figure out the why instead of just incentivization. And then this will, of course, make sure that people know that for the next round, there is incentivization. I'd like to see if the numbers grow and if the incentivization is also part of the why here. So just putting that out there for everybody to know. I won't tell you what the next question is. It'll get pinned up in the channel soon. And we'll take it from there. Aside from that, I've been thinking of other ways to try to promote this workshop. I wanted to originally do this in a way which was face-to-face, at least on a video call or something like that with multiple parties. But the vast differences in time zones from the people who responded to the initial call out actually made that really hard. And from the few people that I reached out to try to align times with them and see what times would work best with them, it looked like there was not really much of a chance of that succeeding. But I am really happy with the turnout that's already been inside of that why topic. So really just progressing with that, finding new ways to do this, because this is something that I've never actually seen anybody do before, just strictly in a chat channel, especially since we don't really know, there's the whole Sybil side of this where we don't truly know if somebody on Telegram is actually the person who's typing Telegram. So it's kind of a blind faith here at the moment. But since a lot of these members have been here for quite a long time, we do have a pretty good idea that this is not being kind of gamed in any sense. So that's a nice little tidbit there.
Okay, so I have put into the mind map into the background. I take some notes, meeting notes, and that will be into the video description. So basically, Nathan James about the why, a lot of a good point until now. EOS reward for the attendees that will do their job to find the why, and you will post other question into the channel topic why. There will be other question coming. Fantastic. So let's move on. I give the mic to Joshua. Thank you, Joshua.
Okay, just a quick clarifying question for you, Nathan. I'm wondering, maybe this is not a question we can answer right now, but I'm wondering what could other members and delegates do to help. And one thing that occurred to me was maybe one or two of us could host meetings when you in regards to your prompt questions that are in different time zones, and we could attempt to additionally try to gather more relatively concise or extract that out of people. Maybe you just give that some thought, and if you think that might be helpful, and we can find. I'd be willing to host
Absolutely.
at
I
least
love that.
one meeting. Okay.
Perfect.
I think just
okay.
some of them are a little bit short, so those are the kind of the ones that I want to go back to those individuals and dig a little bit deeper into them and kind of tease out some emotional connections and stuff like that. Of course, I'm just one person, so if anybody else wants to help on that initiative, that'd be wonderful. I think also once we start to get in the next couple phases where we're looking for the common themes between all of these different stories, that's definitely going to require a couple of different people. I'm not as deep into Eden as some of the others who answered, so my perspective on this will be very different than somebody else who has been here a bit longer. And of course, my perspective is different from somebody else who has different reasonings for their participation in Eden, whether it's governance or WPS or just Eden as itself as a vessel. So all of those can contribute to different whys, which then become a draft for everybody to participate and also take part in finalizing one or more whys.
Perfect. So Joshua, if you want to make your points, maybe your bullet point, I will add into the mind map also for you.
Okay, perfect. So I'm really trying to wear the hat of like most of us here. I think I'm trying to wear the hat of stewarding, and we've been using this term sense making, which basically just means trying to get a sense of the pulse, of this organization and the members of it and stuff, especially the ones that are engaged. Shout out to the members who are being engaged. It's kind of been surprising to see that we've only had 20 something responses to that question in the new why topic. So if you're not aware of that, maybe go in there and respond. I don't know. Maybe Nathan, you could chime in one more time. Is there a deadline on that first one? I mean, I know there's a deadline, but could members still trickle in and respond to that, or are we kind of closed on that for now?
As long as somebody responds to that question, with a reply in Telegram, so it's linked to that question and it doesn't get muddled up with the other questions, I'm fine with people taking the time to respond to it even after the next question is up.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Perfect.
Just would like to see a little more engagement from the members, but I think we'll work with whoever's here. I've been trying to have a lot of meetings and conversations with members and different stakeholders behind the scenes. That's what I've been spending a lot of my time doing, which is still part of that stewarding and sense making thing. And I'm getting a better picture of what people are wanting in doing that. And I'll put together my findings over the next couple of weeks. But
Okay.
one thing that I did recently is I set up a community calendar using a application or a website called Luma. I think it's lu.ma. And I set it up using that primarily because of meeting notifications through email. A lot of the DAO communities, which I've been very immersed in the last year or so, they tend to like to use that application for that purpose, and you get a fair amount of email notifications, so it's very difficult to miss an event. And that was kind of prompted because we have these elections that people don't get notified about well enough. So that could be a way that new people who aren't even necessarily Eden members yet get notified about the elections, and then they can see the other community calendar of events. So if anyone's hosting events and they want to join, they can then add events to this calendar, and we can just have one decent source of truth that the rest of the world, in a way that the outside of our echo chamber, that they're used to kind of finding out about online events and stuff like that. So I'll post a link to that soon. I was just kind of waiting to get a few other people's events in there. Like there's Eden Fractal, there's the Eden Town Hall. So I'd like Dan Singjoy to get in there and add his events. Like right now I created one for Eden Fractal, but it looks like I'm the host of it when really it's Dan and others who are facilitating that. So it would just look a little more than like the Joshua Seymour show if other members could get in there. And shout out to Perry, because I think he joined already. The other thing is there's a workshop going on with Hypha. It just kicked off on Monday. It's a DAO activation workshop. It's called The Flow. The first meeting was about Genesis and members, and there's other organizations participating in this workshop. It's not exclusive to Eden or Eden members. And we now have it's on Mondays at 1600 UTC, I believe. And
Okay.
then on Tuesdays at 1600 UTC, we have a follow-up to basically digest and implement that. So I'll try to make sure that the recordings from the workshop are out immediately after, and then we will digest it and work at applying it to Eden on Tuesdays as a follow-up. And that's on the community calendar thing that I set up, and you'll see that in the meetings topic that we have. And this and other things, and this is what some of my meetings are behind the scenes. We're preparing for Eden or Eden members, or however this is going to end up happening. We're preparing to adopt these tools. And as part of the agreement, as far as I understand, with the ENF and Hypha, Eden or Eden members will have the chance to set up to 5 DAOs. And we don't necessarily need to be in a hurry to do that because we're still figuring out our why here. But I think this is part of the creative process, preparing Eden for Hypha or preparing Eden members for Hypha. And in attending these workshops, some Eden members already have relationships with Hypha and they're creating their own DAOs and stuff like that. But this is training for you to just be a better DAO stakeholder, to get ready to start a DAO with Hypha. The tools MVP is going to be available, I think, in February or maybe March at the latest if there's any delays. So it's coming up pretty soon. You can start making use of this tool, and you can start getting the training to be ready for it. There's things you need to think about before you start a DAO, right? You don't just like go sign up and start a DAO without putting a bunch of thought into it up front, like the kind of stuff that we're having to kind of backtrack on right now. I'm also working together with Reiki and other members to do diplomatic missions into other communities and groups and basically recruit them to join Eden ahead of the next election. So we're probably going to see the results of this flooding Eden with new members. I don't want to do it too much ahead of our sense-making process, but also getting some new people in here could maybe help with the sense-making process. The members we're looking at are people in the existing DAO community and in the regen space, and like even the Impact DAO community that surrounds like Gitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that. There's a lot of really intelligent people who have a lot of experience in DAOs, and they could come in here and help us as far as stewarding and really getting our stuff together, functioning like a organization that can get things done, but still staying true to some of these principles. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. I've got some questions. There's other things I want to mention, but I think I'm up on my time here, so I'll throw it back to whoever.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Joshua. So your bullet point, rapidly, in short, sense of the pulse of the questions of the community, meetings with members, with other stakeholders. You will put a survey soon together of your meetings. And Luma as a calendar and notification through email, contact with other facilitator, DAO, Hypha, the Genesis Monday at 16 UTC, on Tuesday at 16 UTC and recording. Eden members can set up until 5 DAO, but we are figuring our why for the moment, so that's not so the priority. And MVP in February for Hypha, and you work with Reiki also.
Yeah, a couple more things I want to mention. I am getting ready to start scheduling some meetings. One of them might be the one that we just kind of talked about with Nathan to help with the why exercise. But maybe in addition to that and what Hypha is doing, maybe there's other exercises we can go through. So I'll probably begin a couple more weekly meetings. And I would encourage the delegates to make sure that you're getting together with your groups and figuring out the consensus of them and filling out the form that we have in the delegates group. I think shout out to Martin for putting that form together. And I'm still deliberating with my groups. It's actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Answer to your form for the consensus of the group. Exactly. Yeah, I put that, and you will share the meeting with Nathan. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so right now I give the mic to Joey, if you are with us.
Yeah, I can talk. My initial election proposal was to increase the informational resources from ESGov. And once I got elected, as I mentioned before already, I felt the need to do more than that. So while I've been organizing an improvement for the ESGov services, I also started to set up some new things. Some are still not ready to be talked about, but I have some ideas I can share. I know that Nathan, just like me, doesn't feel comfortable with this or doesn't have time, but I can set up some interviews with parties that are from the outer crypto community. And have maybe Joshua or Patrick represent Eden and promote EOS and eventually also promote Eden. So please let me know what you think of this. And I've been on the lookout for this opportunity. And if you like the option, I will forward the information every time the opportunity presents. And lastly, we did make an announcement from the previous Eden Twitter account, right, which is owned by Dan. But we didn't finalize what we're going to do with the new account that we now own, and that we will pass down to future delegates, chief delegates. So the options are three. We use it to promote Eden in general, with general news and information about it I can organize. Or the second option is we use it as a form of communication for chief delegates. So like anytime we have an announcement or something we have to say, we just talk there, or we leave it as it is. So what do you think is the best course of action? We can talk about this later.
Absolutely, we can go into the how later on, but first it's about the intent. So intent, thank you very much. Have you other bullet points that you want to share?
Not now.
Okay, so I wrote down improvement process. You are thinking a little bit already about that. Promotion, basically you want to let us promote. Twitter account, we have to figure out.
For the promotion, I can find some like interviews with other crypto communities, like let's
Interviews,
say if there is like an interview about DeFi or whatever, about DAOs with Tron or something like this, we can join in and have one of you talk, like represent Eden in the EOS.
Okay, the Twitter account and the new Twitter account that we are using since that term 4, they have pushed this Twitter account exactly. We want to communicate with this Twitter account and generally about communication, how we can communicate CDs when we do announcement. That's that we are.
We just need to decide what to do now.
Okay, so perfect. Now I will give the mic to Patrick. Where is Patrick? He's here. Okay, so I will go also into my bullet point. So my bullet points are very straight. So first, I was committed to do the chief delegate interviews just after the election. So I have interviewed so far Nathan. Myself, I was interviewed by Stefan, and I will interview Joshua. We have planned that. And Joseph, we will do an interview when the time comes. There is no rush. So that I have already made. Then I have been committed also into Eden Fractal meetings every Wednesday. And beside that, we do the Eden Fractal brainstorming session every Tuesday. So we follow, I will say, a little bit the same paradigm that we have into Eden on EOS. We are also finding our why into Eden Fractal. Seems to be that's the season of the why. And we are also in an approach bottom up with the processes into Eden Fractal. And those processes, by the way, will be very helpful for Eden on EOS. I have taken some funds of my chief delegate, 3,000 EOS. I have gave those funds to Vlad, developer of CTF, but very involved into Eden Fractal with Lennart and also Matthias Schoenbeck of ZEOS. They are building the next iteration of Consortium that we love it, but they are building a fantastic platform. I have had a demo of this Figma, but more than the Figma, I have a nice conversation with Vlad. We have doing a screen share. I know exactly what he is developing, not only giving 3,000 EOS without to know what will be developed, so that's better. And there is an integration between consortium now and MindWeb, MindMap. Every time that someone is creating a poll on consortium or deleting a poll also, I receive the information to MindWeb. Like this, I know when a poll is deleted that I have to archive the poll into the left brain of the mind map. So that's that. And bylaws, figuring out, we were discussing together, Nathan and me, that's not only an hash for the bylaws, because we have different articles into the bylaws. That could be multiple hashes if we want to put that on chain. And yes, we want to put that on chain for sure. Also, Max Shaw has sent to, let's say, that was into the Telegram. He has sent the bylaws translated with Sangyong into English. So we have the bylaws from Eden Korea in English. Like we can take that as an example also for us, like CDs, and see how we can maybe inspirate with those bylaws. Otherwise, I was also in contact with Jesse Jaffe, shout out to Jesse, about the Google spreadsheet that he has made for the, let's say, for the projects that we have to continue to do during this term 5, like Sibyl, like bylaws, and there is also the induction script and the web form. So we will work on the induction script of Ben Sigman, but version improved, and also a web form where the newcomers of Eden can make like a kinda of intent testifying why they are joining Eden. And if they want, they can do like a rant textual, or if they have the courage, they can do a video on YouTube or on Vimeo and put their video. Like this, we know their intent. So that's where we are. And yeah, that's all for me. So we have addressed everyone what we are doing. That's fine. So now comes the, let's say, the reaction round. So we made the clarification round. Now we do the reactions round. So some reaction of everyone here. So I give the mic to Nathan for the second time.
Sorry, can you say again? I'm trying to answer a message here.
What's the intent of this segment here? Can you restate that, Patrick?
Oh, now we are into the reaction round. So if everyone has some reaction about what we are doing now.
I did have a question for Joe.
Okay.
Yep.
When you're going to these other communities, as Ambassador, I can't remember exact words used. How are you explaining to them what Eden is? Are you saying that it's a governance community, or saying it's a WPS? Are you explaining Eden in terms of the political playoffs? Like, what's the direction that you're actually using?
Basically, when I see opportunities of interviews, for example, usually they happen on Twitter Spaces, and I don't really mention too much. Like, I don't try to explain Eden to them, because at the end, Eden is supposed to work for EOS. So basically, I want to represent EOS through it. And then if there are like events that are specifically made for DAOs, I will just introduce Eden as a DAO of EOS. And so, and after, if they accept that, we are just going to bring our topic. You know, it's not like I don't need to do a lot of introductions and explanations. So after we get into a meeting, we can approach it the way we want it.
I see.
Okay.
Thanks.
I have the same question for you, Joey, complementary with Nathan. The intent that was also popping in my mind when you are approaching those stakeholders to promote You were stating now that you don't want really to speak about Eden specifically. So basically, you want to promote EOS as a digital extended network, maybe?
Yes. At the end, it's not really box. So it's not. We don't need to box ourselves only on EOS. We can promote Eden, but if you think about the outer community, in order to be interested in Eden, they either have to be interested in DAO or they need to be already interested in EOS, right?
Yeah. So I think if we stay on an approach,
the topic of each
yeah.
interview, because each interview will have different topics.
Okay. I think I understand where you go with that, the intent.
And generally, let me think. I have more connections in Asia. So generally, these connections will probably be like more towards Asian communities, like Strong and stuff like this. But I'm also trying to find more Western type of communities, like Western type of interviews. But still, they will be in English.
Okay. Joshua, reactions, questions?
I think I'm good to go for now. There's a question from one of the delegates that I want to throw out there, but maybe we could do it in a moment.
Oh, you want to leave that in a moment? Okay, no problem.
Do these videos have chat? Like, is there a chat attached to this video?
There's whatever chat we want. There's the general chat. There's the
right, but there's nothing specifically for. It's not like Discord or anything like that. I see.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, the settings are nobody can unmute themselves, but if we change the settings, then people can chime in if we want.
Yeah, we can do that maybe on the last part of this call. So now we are at 30 minutes already, 33 minutes to be exact. So we are in time, perfect. So Joshua, have you other reaction about what we addressed, if each of us?
No, I just have a question from one of the delegates that I want to add, but I don't know if we're at that part yet.
Yeah, I have submitted to Jesse this question also, our liaison with our chief delegate, but we will address. Joey, have you some reaction for Nathan or for Joshua or for myself?
Joshua, I wanted some clarification, but probably it's going to take me too long time. So if it takes too long time, you can text me. Regarding how do you envision like the change of Eden when Hypha is introduced, it's released?
Yeah, that is basically one of the main questions on my list, and I'm trying to talk to as many stakeholders as possible to figure out all the aspects of what that might look like. So I think basically over the next couple of weeks, we'll start to clarify that more, and I would love to continue the dialogue with you about it privately and also with the community.
Okay.
Yeah. And little remark with Hypha, we have had the Eden Town Hall on last Sunday. There was Joachim coming and doing his second presentation about Hypha that was very insightful. And into Eden Fractal, we are also taking in account those paradigms and see how it fits with what we are doing. So we want to be very agnostic, the most possible, to have the best experience possible with Dancing Joy and the other members. Okay. So at this point now, we can maybe address some question of the community, like the one that Joshua, you want maybe read the question that was?
Yes. So this is from Thean, and the question is, let me find it. It was posted in the delegates group. So we have a group with all the delegates in there, or at least most of them. I see 36 members in there. And the question is, with the previous CDs, I had discussed getting a .eden account for the Eden Spanish Treasury, because the Eden, the Spanish community is getting ready to create an organization right now. And how can I cast the MSIG for the proposal to the current CDs?
Yeah, and we have the answer.
Oh, one point. The namespace that he wants is Spanish.eden.
Yeah. And I just received an answer of the L1 liaison. Shout out to Jesse Jaffe. He just answered to me now, and he say, ask Xavier Fernandez to create the proposal to set it up and decide on the name. So okay. On the name of the MSIG proposal, indeed.
Okay.
It's what he's stating. So we have already some direction, and we will stay in contact for sure, and we will move on that. No problem. Have you seen other questions into the community currently that make worth to answer here, or?
No, I mean, I don't know if Nathan or Joe want to chime in on that. Is there any objection to creating this namespace for the Spanish-speaking community?
Well, I mean, first things first, I think that MSIGs are the end-all answer to all of these questions. If somebody creates an MSIG and the CDs decide to sign it and then approve it, that's the answer, right? Anybody is allowed to create an MSIG with us as the signees, or rather as Eden, with Eden as the signees, because I think Eden, the account Genesis.Eden controls that, correct?
The namespace.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Who controls?
Yeah.
Genesis.Eden controls the .Eden namespace. Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure though.
Yes, Nathan.
Okay, thank you. So then an MSIG has to be the way that this happens. I mean, we could go through the process of requesting that they do this on Telegram first in the proposals channel, but it's superfluous and possibly unnecessary.
Yeah, well, the request has already been made in the delegates channel, and so it looks like it's in motion.
I mean publicly though, so that others can see it.
Yeah, I guess I like the way that we signed an MSIG with Edenia, right? And that was in the proposals channel, so everyone had visibility of it, and we signed it, and so that was executed. So maybe we do the same thing with the proposals channel. So we just ask Thean or Xavier or whoever's going to do it to just put it in the proposals channel.
Yeah, I guess really the proposals channel can go ahead.
Yeah, we can call it MSIGs.
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's a notification channel for proposals that are on chain. So we don't have to go to the chain every day, check if there's proposals.
Let's do the MSIG topic.
No more topics.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I would say those topics are more like categories, not really topics. But
I've lost myself at this point in all of the topics. Yeah, it's getting really hard to keep up.
Totally. Okay, so just to remind the people that are watching this and following now in live, we received a message of Xavier Fernandez a couple of days ago. Hello, CDs. Here is an MSIG proposal for this month's infrastructure payment. Please review and let me know if you have any question. And we have approved us, the CDs, this MSIG proposal by Xavier, because no doubt for the infrastructure, Edenia is doing a great job. Yeah, baby. Okay, so let's move on. Other reaction or questions or whatever here into the CDs between us here. Some question or?
The only other thing I'd like to mention is I'm putting thought. I have been for a while, but I think we're going to need some kind of a member agreement. I think right now we might be in like a legal jeopardy position, and we might be fortunate and lucky at the moment, but we need some kind of member agreement to protect all the parties involved here. And
good point.
Yeah. Dan Dan and his team put a lot of money and effort into creating a member agreement for Fractally that they didn't end up using. So I think that could be, we could borrow a lot from that, and we would need to get, you know, additional legal eyes on it. I don't think it's our immediate next step priority. I think we really need to figure out what our why and chief aim is first. But I would like us to come out of this term with a member agreement. However, I feel like there's going to be a lot of things getting shook up, and it's just my intuitive feeling over the next 90 days or the rest of this season or business quarter. And even in the next one, I think Hypha has become a little bit of a wild card of possibilities for us. And however it shakes out, I think we're going to need a member agreement. So I'm working on that, and anyone who wants to collaborate on it, anyone who's actually in the legal field or has legal connections, and I'm reaching out to other DAOs that are legally focused, like LexDAO and stuff, to try to get some eyes on the current landscape. It's pretty crazy right now, so I think we should put that in place. The sooner that we do that, the more attractive it's going to make it to join Eden or any additional DAOs that get created on EOS if that is part of the culture.
I would suggest reaching out first to legal counsel, because what happens if basically we do all this and then legal counsel comes back and says, hey, you guys need a legal entity for this? Yeah, which is very likely.
Well, the member agreement that I'm speaking of is for an unincorporated nonprofit association. So probably most DAOs need an unincorporated agreement of some kind, and they need an incorporated entity because DAOs traditionally can't own property. But you know what I mean? Like maybe for the members, they're protected by a member agreement, and maybe the delegates are protected by an actual incorporated entity and an additional agreement and layer. But I completely agree with you. We should reach out to legal counsel, but it doesn't quite make sense to do it yet because we don't really know completely what we're doing, and everything should be wrapped around that. But this agreement a lot of money was spent on it, and it went through a lot of hands. The version I have is the third version of it. So I think there's things in it that are pretty novel legal theory. Ultimately, for U.S. citizens, right now it's just regulation through enforcement. Probably the statute of limitations is going to get extended to 10 years. And we're just going to have to be very smart and diligent to not be in the crossfire as other organizations are right now.
Absolutely. About that, we are doing a kind of agreement also into Eden Fractal. We are finding an agreement that will come, and we want to do that on chain. So I think here there is no question, because we do the bylaws on chain, because we do also the all on chain. This agreement will be when you sign, that's on chain. There is question on that for you, Joshua, or it's normal?
Yeah, I'm talking about an on-chain agreement. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And totally agreeing with Nathan. We have to do some research and not do all this work, and at the end we have a boomerang coming back into our face, because we have to be very careful with that. Joe, you want to do some comments about that?
No, all good, I agree.
Okay, so I think we agree all. So now maybe we can take some question of if we have now 16 minutes, something like that. So maybe we can take some question of the people here. So maybe Joshua, you can maybe unmute, or
maybe we give Jesse a chance to see if there's anything that he wants to liaison on behalf of the delegates first.
Thank you. Yeah, good point. Jesse, welcome.
No, nothing in particular. But I will monitor issues. Yeah, in the L1s. Just in the future, just curious on your thoughts on the items in the spreadsheet. If you guys probably haven't got a chance to look at it, but eventually I'd like to hear that.
Good point, Jesse. Yeah, we have shared that with Luca. We have. I was forgetting. We had a call, Jesse, myself, and Luca, to speak a little bit about the CBIL, to be very aligned. We shared that also with Nathan some point. So yes, that makes sense that we have all this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is mapped out into the CD5 mind map that you will find into the video description. Nothing to hide. All is accountable. We have to share the information, and every L1 delegate can see that, and every member of the Eden member can see that. There is nothing to hide. And I will always be in contact with Jesse and share with you here the following. That makes sense. Maybe someone else want to jump in? Maybe.
No, I just appreciate the reminder, and definitely will be looking more at that and talking about it together and getting back to you about it, Jesse.
Okay, other question, other reaction maybe of the people into this call, watching this call. Maybe Joshua, you want to give the mic to someone else here?
Well, I changed the settings, so you can.
Anyone can,
if you want.
That's the time for some question. Yeah. So anyone feel free to join, to unmute you.
Yeah. If not, maybe we just end the meeting early.
Xavier wants to speak. Xavier want to speak. Welcome, Xavier. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Hey guys, I just wanted to comment on the MSIG for the Spanish Eden. I can definitely help with that and add that to the proposals channel. The question we have right now is, well, what is the authorities for the Spanish.Eden account look like right now, since there is no kind of elected CDs? It'd be more like a development team to get the contracts up and running, and then kind of like an interim key structure that can then be replaced when the first election takes place. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll come up with something and create an MSIG for you guys. And then, one thing to think about for the future, if other Edens pop up, right, Spanish, Korean, whatever, the Eden namespace is kind of global to all of these Edens, right? So right now it's the Genesis CDs that control it, but perhaps then think about some sort of cross Eden key structure, right, where the Spanish team can also have to sign off on the creation of a new Eden account. Or it's not needed now. Well, it's mostly a development effort that we're doing to try and get up a new instance of Eden, but the governance structure or the key structure for multiple Edens to coexist under the same namespace is something to think about, perhaps.
Thank you very much. I put at the bullet point also. So Xavier want to add the proposal to the channel. An interim key structure could be needed, and Eden namespace is global at the moment, is the Genesis one, but maybe that will make sense that we create some other namespace. So basically that, yeah, exactly, and we will follow that closely. Someone else want to join here on the call and make his question raise, make your voice heard. That's the time. I see Chris Barnes, I see Luca Persic, I see Sagar Manta, Perry Chenas, Brandon Lovejoy, so that's the time. Perry Chenas seems to want to make some voice here, heard. So welcome, Perry. Oh, already. Okay, we are in the time, so there is place for everyone. Don't be too much.
Can you hear me now?
Perry! Yeah, we hear you well.
Good. The button, this is a new button. It starts out pink, and then when you give me the right to speak, it looks like it goes blue, and now it's just green, and it's beautiful, and it's exploding with my voice. Thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to speak. I just have one short comment. Thank you, Joshua, for creating that calendar that keeps track of things. I have placed those items on DNews. So as an aggregator for the entire community, I just want to know that I just want you to know that I'll be placing all those events on DNews, and you can find all of those on the calendar. So thank you very much. That's it, and happy to be here. That's all.
Thank you very much, Perry, for that. That's mean. Thank you very much for us, for the Eden, and for everyone into the community with this calendar. Very welcome. We have Chris Barnes also. Maybe Chris, you want to jump in? Yeah, you want to speak? He's listening, and that will become great.
Hey guys. Yeah.
Hello.
What's going on? Thanks for. I like your format doing this on Telegram. I think it's great. So good job.
Thank you.
And just listening. Yeah, I love everything I'm hearing. Good work, everybody. And yeah, just keep it going. I think this is great. That's all I got to say.
Perfect. That's a yeah baby moment. Thank you very much. A couple vodka and popcorn here. Thank you. And we have Brandon Lovejoy, the only one, the best joy in the galaxy. Of all the joy, you want to jump in maybe? So Brandon is maybe beside the fireside chat. We never know. Okay, we have Sagarmata. Sagarmata, maybe you want to join, to jump. Okay. So we give you the chance to jump in. During that, we do some music. Nathan, have you your guitar? No, you're not your guitar. Okay.
Many instruments, actually.
Okay. A music for Eden on EOS could be nice for this EOS extended digital network.
Maybe we can go to some closing thoughts and we can wrap it up for today.
Absolutely. Good advice, Joshua. I love you. So we can do some wrapping time to conclude here. So everyone, time to conclude. That's the section. So I give the mic to NS James, the only one.
Should I steal your saying here? Should I steal your saying? Should I do it? I'm not going to steal it for you. No, I'm not going to steal it from him. No, never.
Okay.
What is this? Just wrapping sentiments?
Yeah. We're just going to
wrapping up sentiments.
Yeah.
First, I did want to ask before that: are we going to be pushing this to IPFS as well? Is that the norm? Yeah. Is the norm for these to be pushed up to IPFS?
I don't know if that's the norm, but that's a cool idea.
That's a very cool idea.
It'd be nice to have just a history of, because now that I'm digging into the whole why and seeing a lot of the history, which I wasn't privy to before, just because it's all locked inside of the private Eden members chat. There's a lot of interesting history here, which would be nice to have on chain.
Good point. We have the membership on chain for the induction. Why not to have the chief meeting? And that's the number one, by the way. Don't wait until
these are a little long, though.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
I can chime in real quick if that's okay. We haven't uploaded any of these videos to IPFS. I like the idea. Eden does pay for a Pinata gateway, and we've got some on there. So we do have storage space on IPFS that could be used for these videos if that's something.
What are we talking about? Gigabytes?
200 megabytes.
The 200 megabyte limit is really the UI. You could upload larger videos, but not through the UI, right? Directly through the API, perhaps. Let's check. I can give you guys exactly how much storage space we have. If you give me a second. We're using 22% of our plan. We've got 56 gigabytes of 250. So
okay. By the way, when I take the MP4 into the saved message that Joshua is recording now, when I take a video, an MP4, I always compress him at the maximum to have an MP4 of 100 megabytes, something like that. I do also myself a Pinata IPFS sometimes, and I am a fan of these Pinata guys. So I think, Nathan, like always, good idea. And by the way, that will be mapping out into the mind map. So there is the playlist of the YouTube channel. And at the same time, we have the hash, the IPFS hash. What else? Cappuccino, maybe. Okay, so give the mic to Joshua, the only one. Time to conclude, my friend. Something to say?
Yeah. I would like to see more engagement on the exercise that Nathan's operating. I would like to see people attending any of the meetings and workshops and stuff that are happening throughout the next several weeks. I'd like to see people learning about what Hypha has to offer, Eden and EOS in general. If you're an EOS fanatic more than an Eden fanatic, then you should be pretty thrilled about this application being available on EOS. The EOS network is, paying for development, and we should be getting ready to make use of it in whatever ways that we can as EOS stakeholders. So now is the time to do that, to ask questions, to make requests, and to get together with people maybe and get ready to start forming some DAOs. So that's pretty much it. If you know Eden members who aren't really engaged, maybe you can reach out to them and say, hey, are you in the new group? Are you paying attention to what's going on? That kind of a thing. It would just be nice. It looks like we've got 130 members in the community right now in the new Eden Community Telegram group. Oh. But it would be nice to see more than 20 of them responding to polls or responding to important questions and exercises, and just being engaged. But it's understandable that people can't be super engaged, and we're still kind of early in the season. But that would be my request.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Now I give the mic to Joey, the only one here. So, Joey, have you nice ideas for more engagement for Eden on EOS, the EOS
For
Digital Extended Network?
Again, I actually realized I just arrived, so now I'm turning on my video. I realized we didn't have time to talk about what to do with our Twitter, right? So we can. I'm going to ask you guys if you want to talk about it within like our group, or you want to ask the community. We can ask the community like if we need like to promote Eden generally, and I can organize someone to take care of the Twitter. So
yeah,
just like post stuff, etc. We don't need to do it on our own.
Let's create a poll. Let's create a poll in Telegram, like Joshua is the master of the poll. Create a poll and put more than one option to answer to a poll, because if it is only yes, okay, so put more than one option possibly, and
put yes
phrase
twice.
Absolutely, and phrase your poll in a manner well crafted. Okay, and for me, I will just say, don't miss the video of Joshua Seymour for the CDs, because we will make the video straight to the point, like with Nathan James, NS James. That was very cool. And we will do a video well timestamped that will be on YouTube, Nova Crypto YouTube channel, where I post my workshops, my stuff. And there is coming the Antelope Swiss workshop, by the way, interview of Daniel Keys for Pomelo Season 5 and closing of Pomelo Season 4. That will be exclusive. EOSB's Jesse Jaffe, nice interview also about the current state of the bees and the future. And also an Eden Fractal update number 4 that will give you some ideas also. There are some parallels with what we are doing here. We are looking at our why we are here. Exactly that. And other video of Zeizen Global, Red Out Der Pool, that goes into my room, by the way. And we will do a nice video also. So that's Antelope Swiss Workshop number 18. Season 4, every 2 months, never miss one, also when I am sick. Okay, so we will wrap it. Oh, we will close this one. Shift meeting delegates number 1, and we are in time at this exact minute.
Hold on. Where's Go EOS? Where's your sayings? Come on, man.
Oh yeah, we never close without to finish on something always fun. And we will do exactly that today. At 3210, we will say go Eden on EOS. So you raise your hand when you are ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Pat Joy, are you ready? 3, 2, 5, 1. Are you ready? Pat Joy. Okay, Pat Joy is ready. So at 3210 with heart, soul, and mind. Okay. 3, 2, and 1, and 0. Go Eden on
EOS.
You understand? Peace.
Bye, guys.